Very good morning to all the participants. We will start the session by another 2 minutes. A very good morning. Very good morning, dear participants. You have been welcome for this INVIT Industrial Empowerment session once again. This is our 44th week. We have been in the 44th week. We have been taken a 360-degree, a kind of empowerment, a kind of topic starting from safety, quality, technology, management, yoga. Lot of domains we have been covered in this 44 weeks. Thanks for your enormous support. Some of the topics are very new. Still, it has been in the research stage. We have been handled the topic, which has been known as mind reengineering, ergonomic, industrial ergonomics, to ensure that our industrial peoples have been aware and they have been incorporated with the technological enhancement and the skills which has been there in the society. INVIT has been founded by alumnus of RLI, IIT, and College of Engineering, Indiana University to empower the industrial sectors on technology. INVIT is having a three wings. First wing is research and development. Currently, 5 society projects and 3 industrial projects have been done in this research development sector. The third one is audit and inspection. Audit and inspection, starting from safety audits, quality audits, institutional audits. And currently, INVIT have been finished 142 audits as of now on different sectors. The third wing is our INVIT training wing. Yes, INVIT training wing is been hosting the session. INVIT training wing is been having a different domains, starting from training on quality, safety, technological, and industrial needs. Based on the industrial needs, they have been providing the training, and this industrial empowerment session is being hosted, and it has been dedicatedly handled by few staff to empower that the topics have been choose, the kind of tutors have been selected, and it has been delivered in a very effective way. And thanks for your enormous support, and we welcome you for this week's session on ergonomics, ergonomic postures. With this, I've been more happy and privileged to introduce today's speaker, the well-renowned Dr. S. Murali Krishnan, occupational therapist, who's been having an enormous amount of experience in occupational therapist. He's been owning a center, Spadon Life Skill Enhancement Center, which is a kind of rehabilitation centers for many of the children to enhance their occupational skills. Occupational, a kind of occupational therapist and occupational skills is a very important one. Whenever we have been talking about this ergonomics, it's been done enormous amounts of ergonomics audits and proactive designed many ergonomic workplaces to ensure that they have been away from the chronic illness which has been caused in the industries. Yes, as of now, many industries we would have been talking about the kind of acute problems, the kind of acute defects. Yes, it's a time for all of us to ensure that we are also talking about a chronic illness. Yes, about this ergonomic, this session is going to be the very interactive session. We have been planned this session on a very practical mode, and thanks for you all for attending this. With this note gesture, I like to thank our resource person who have been spending his valuable time for this session. And thank you, sir. Thank you for your enormous energy and time who have been put upon to develop this course material for this INVIT empowerment session. Once again, on behalf of INVIT team, on behalf of all of us, we have been inviting you all for this session on postures. Dr. Murali, sir, you can able to take the virtual screen.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. Am I clearly audible, sir?
Yes, sir. You are perfectly audible, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and a very good morning with Spandan Life Skills Enhancement Center and INVIT team. This is a very good opportunity, and this is a very in demand, in need topic as to address everyone on ergonomics and postures. So I thank Satya sir and the whole of the INVIT team for giving me this opportunity. Let's dive in directly into the topic. Okay. Can you see the full slide? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. We can able to see your full slides.
Posture is always been one aspect we are all used to wonder what exactly we need to maintain and how exactly we need to maintain. And posture directly and indirectly plays a very important role in any job. How we do it, how we perform it, and how well we perform it. Even in other case, even in our regular life, we give a great effort or great mind um, towards showing how much mindful we are about how we look, how we stand, and how we sit, what sort of walking pattern we use, what sort of sitting style we use. In a lot of soft skills training, and when you go to interviews and when you sit at the employment office, you all get this details. But when it comes to work is when we don't give much of effort, or we don't give much of input our eyes into how our posture is. Otherwise, everywhere, like every time, we focus on where we are standing, how we are standing, and other stuff. So the concept of posture is always at some point we are very focused and very conscious about it. At some point we are not much of showing interest into it, especially when it comes to work. Work is where the ergonomics comes into the picture. So this whole session will focus on the following objectives, and I would be really happy if I could impart this information into everyone to some extent. The information, what is ergonomics, how ergonomics is related, and how it can impact the work performance and work efficiency, how posture in ergonomics and in your workplace is important, how that or what role the posture plays in helping you perform your job better, and why it is important to maintain a good posture, why or what sort of ergonomics at workplace is important, how we can make sure the ergonomics is taken care of from the employee side as well as from the employer side, why it is important for both of them. It is always a mutual, both the sides work. And then there are some self-management strategies we will discuss about how to maintain my posture, how consciously I can alter my posture and do things so that my posture is in a good shape. And there will be some stretching exercises, some core muscle exercises, which will help you to keep your posture better. And then in the end, there is always this ergonomic evaluation part where I'm also part of the Inviti team, where we go to ergonomic evaluation for the industries, for the offices, and why it is important to have the ergonomic evaluation done, and how and what sort of help we provide when it comes to ergonomic evaluation. And that is for the future to take up. Okay, in general, what is ergonomics? Ergonomics is basically how you understand how the human bodies interact with the machines and your work environment. So the lighting, the sound, the height, the chair, the table, how much weight is there, how much vibration is there, how much noise is there. All these things are considered. And then ergonomics is basically to understand or to study the work performance and emphasize on the efficiency and productivity of the individual who is working there. And the function or the importance of knowing ergonomics is to help or to optimize the function and work performance through to educating the employee on the employer, as well as intervene when and where it is needed, and make changes, make adaptations, make improvisations in the workforce, in the workplace, in the work process. The place, person, and process are very important. So end of the day, the concept itself is to improve the productivity in a very comfortable level with a long duration of workability of the particular person. So both the individual, the employee, as well as the employer, both benefit in the end. Generally, when you go to work, there are lots of risk factors involved. Some things called postural risk factors, how you are standing there or maintaining your posture for a long time, sitting or standing in one position uh, and doing the work. And then the environment around you, the individually how your body is reacting to the demands of the work. Psychologically, how much is your positive intent, how much is your tolerance, how much is your tolerance to take up stress from the work. It can be, it doesn't have to be just physical. So we have a term called psychological ergonomics, where the amount of peer pressure is also plays an important role on the human being's mind to perform better, because when there is too much of pressure from the peers, too much of pressure from the management, or too much of pressure from the family end or a friend's end, that will automatically affect it, affect our work performance. Example: if my friends are going out and then they are putting so much pressure that you are dedicating so much to your work, and then you're not giving time to us, so you better finish your work and come back to us here early in the evening, then what happens is you try to finish the work faster instead of better. And not everybody, not every time, but it does get onto your nerves, and at one point of time you do compromise your work to some extent. This is common for everything. There can be a peer pressure, there can be a management pressure, there can be a family or social life pressure. This will definitely affect. So ergonomics is both physical and psychological. Usually the risk factors are associated with the duration of the work and as well as the intensity of the work. Um, everybody has gone through your exam times in your college, in your school. So you have only 3 hours of time. So you have so much to write, and then otherwise take it. You have last 10 minutes in your clock, and you need to finish your work. Uh, you need to finish your work right in 10 minutes, but you have at least to score 20 marks there. That means you will write so fast, you wouldn't mind even if you want to go to the restroom, or you wouldn't mind your wrist paining. You would want to just sit there and write, get through that pain, get through that physical urge of going to the restroom. Now this is where you're putting yourself in risk. So the duration and the intensity of work will increase, whereas there is a time restraint or a constriction when it comes to work. Generally, the postural risk factors, before going to the risk factors, you need to know what is posture. Posture is how you stand, how your body is maintained in a certain position for a long time. This can be in sitting, this can be in lying, or this can be in standing. It doesn't have to be in one position. Every position has a posture. Like we always remember how superstar Rajnikant, stands in a style, one leg down and one leg crossed on the front, and how we sit with cross legs, or how we sit with one uh, hand on the chin or holding something like that. So these are all the postures we always maintain. But when it comes to work, what happens is, because we need to finish that work in certain period of time, we always maintain that posture for a prolonged time. Either it can be a stooped posture, or it can be an extended posture, or holding something for a long time. So that maintenance of the particular position of your body for a prolonged time, which is uncomfortable, which is beyond the tolerance of your muscles which are holding the position, then that comes the risk factor. So any job which puts the person into an uncomfortable position for a prolonged period of time is at the risk of giving you, much of muscular pain, or discomfort, or making sure you get more pain. Because once you extend that period, once you extend that posture, uncomfortable position for a long time, you get into pain, you get into muscle cramps, you get into joint misalignment or a disalignment of joints. So the next one is the environmental risk factors. This we can put it on the surface of the work, the lighting of the work, the sounds in that particular work, the amount of weight you have to shift, or there is too much of push or pull, which will affect. Individual risk factors depends on how healthy we are, how good we are physically and physically here. Of course, this factor talks about physical, and gender also plays an important role when it comes to ergonomics factor, because muscularly speaking, in general, don't take me wrong here, in general, men are well built when women's muscles are not that much built as men. That is what we generally consider. But on the other end, the endurance related work are good for women. The men are like more powerful workers, but the women are like more of long time workers. There is always a imbalance between men and women when it comes to work. Women are more mentally strong when it comes to taking decisions and withstanding psychological pressure. But the physical pressure, men are good with taking physical pressure more. So the individual risk factors, as in by culture, by the brought up, by the amount of exercise I have done in my early years, by the amount of muscles I have, physique I have, the location or the background I come from, all these individual factors play an important role in ergonomic risk. The psychological risk factor is, again, we already discussed this a little before. Majorly this is about the support system available at the workplace, at the family, and at the social friend circle as well. So how much we mentally can tolerate the pressure, mentally can get through that pressure is very important here. That also plays an important role in work performance. Uh, in ergonomics, usually the duration and the intensity of the work plays an important role in making sure you get into a discomfortable position. Working on computers for long hours, because there is always a project deadline. Like, you finish this within a day, you finish this within 2 hours, you finish this, or you finish this work only then you can go home. Is usually the sentence used by the management support team. So if for an employee to finish this work, he has to sit there in an uncomfortable situation so that the focus is more. It's not that you don't want to, you want to sit in that position, but your focus is more on solving the problem within the system or within the paper. You ignore your body's warning signs that your body is discomfort. Your body is always letting you know that you are in a discomfortable situation. We always ignore that for some reason, and there is this repetitive hand and wrist finger movements where somebody is, constantly hitting on something, constantly paddling on something. A repetitive movement of some sort will always have a risk factor associated with ergonomic issues. And what happens when there is a repetitive motion is, the the blood vessels in your muscles go into more of contraction. There is no time to relax. So there is always a chance of getting injury because of the constricted vascular supply in your arms or legs. You will usually see people who are more standing or more using your calf muscles will get the varicose veins, where the blood vessels, the veins in the legs are prominently seen. Like, you see a green color or a dark color worm kind of feeling in your legs. That's the varicose veins, because they get a little dilated over a period of time. So how do we protect this when it comes to you know workers? It is the responsibility of all the employers that uh, providing a safe and healthy workplace for the workers is very important, so that what happens is the workers can perform better job, better efficiency, better productivity, and end of the day what happens is the overall company's productivity improves. So as a boss, I'm happy because my work is getting done. And at the same time, there is no much of complaints from the workers. There is no much of leave from the workers. I keep them motivated because I take care of them. When I take care of them, they also oblige to work better and produce better for me. So educating them ergonomically on postures, ergonomically on desk ergonomics, workplace ergonomics is always a little investment, but produces a bigger effects for me. Making sure that no, I retain my staff in a well shape. I retain my staff in a better shape, better working condition, and then the better psychological condition, so that their work performance always in a upbeat mode for me. What usually does, how the economic process and works in this is provide a strong management support. To the management takes up in their hand itself to make sure there is always a reaching out option for the employees, so that they can come and tell them whatever they are going through, because unless until they tell you, you don't know where to go and how to approach the problem. The problem is being subtly put under, and then you will never know how to handle that issue when it crops up bigger. So always, as an employer, go discuss with your staff, discuss with them what they are feeling, how they are feeling. Is there any difficulties they are facing? How you can better their work environment, work condition, and their health, which is very important in that matter. So, as I said, if you want to talk to the workers, it is always important to involve them in the process where they would give you more benefit of because they are the ones who are working. So they know what is wrong, where is it wrong, and they would give you clear input of changing the workplace or changing the work module, so that the work performance can be better. We can always put in our brain in thinking, but the experienced hands who are sitting there are the better people to give us inputs. Always involve the workers in decision making, involve the workers in policy making. And if you're a worker, you get involved with the management and say, okay, this is how I feel I can improve the productivity of your company, and take care of my fellow colleagues as well, which will definitely boost the productivity, and for you as an individual, for the company as in the whole. So the management can always provide training, which is where the team NVT comes in and I come in, where we provide people with how to take care of themselves in the ergonomics. We do an ergonomic audit and tell the people that, okay, your workstation is like this needs extra light, or this needs less noise. You need to provide with ear mufflers or glasses. That training process of how to take care of. Again, this is also one of the program where we are training people about the posture. How to take care of your posture, how to not let your bad posture give you an uncomfortable situation where because of that you have to take a leave, or you have to reduce the productivity. And identify the problems. It is very important to identify what causes. Is it too much of sitting? Is it a low height chair or a high height chair, or I need to reach out more so that I'm having trouble, or I'm like going through lots of vibration in the workplace that's affecting me. Identify what is the problem, and then that becomes an easy way of finding out a solution. So encourage this. When people know about the training, when they go through the training, when they know how to identify problems, automatically they will come and report to you, okay, this is where things are going wrong, I think. This is where, I need to address it, I think. In general, we Indians have this mentality of tolerating it till it is too much to tolerate. Yeah, little bit of back pain is okay because you're working like this. You will obviously get back pain, right? Everybody gets back pain. Everybody gets hand pain. Don't complain like a baby. Now you have to work. That person is working. So what happens to you? So remember this: the problem, as we have seen the risk factors, it is individual sometimes, and then it is based on the kind of work we are going through. So it is important to encourage the person to come to you with the complaint he is going through, so that he can improve himself and address that issue, so that we don't lose on the workforce, we improve the workforce efficiency, and I get more of benefit out of it by improving my productivity. Always give them a chance to come up with or approach you with, if they have any trouble at the work, if they have any posture related work, if their chair is not all right. Everybody's because everybody is in a different height, a different weight, different circumference to our body. So a single chair or a single table height or a single non-adjustable chair is not going to work for us. Everybody has to have their comfort level corrected first. So the chairs and tables to be, if the person's work is too much sitting and using chair and table for a long time, that means the workstation needs to be designed according to that particular person to the maximum level. If not 100%, at least to make maximum extent, you have to provide him a place where it is comfortable for him to sit and work for a long duration, and implement the solutions to control work-related hazards. Evaluate the process always. What you have done, is it working for them, and come back so that you can change it. Coming back to the main topic of the day, posture. Posture is a state of a position of the body or an attitude, and this is how we maintain our body in one particular position. Um, and position is again a little different from the posture. When the posture is basically for a purpose. There is a work happening. Posture is usually we do it for the work, we do it for showing our attitude. Rightly said, posture is a position with attitude, is very important. So what happens when your posture is right, or when talking about posture, is the joints are to be aligned in a better way. There are almost 230 mobile and semi-mobile joints in the body, which contributes to your performance as a whole, when you're sitting, when you're standing. Of course, the amount of joints involved in each posture may differ according to the work you are doing. But end of the day, so each joint has to be aligned. They have to be in that particular position. They have to be in that particular place, in a particular angle. Only then your efficiency of using the joints or hands and legs to work is bettered. Otherwise, what happens if your misaligned joints are there? Automatically, your muscles get tired holding them into the right position, pushing them into the right position. Each of us are evolved for certain purpose, and our joints move in that particular direction to fulfill that particular efficiency or a particular purpose of us. So when the alignment is correct, when the joints are in the right position, how we are evolved, then we are in a better performance state. When the alignment is wrong, obviously, we have to put in more effort in delivering the task, delivering the work. And in the right alignment, in a correct alignment, there is a less effort, more productivity. So when the alignment gets wrong, when the joints are not in a proper alignment, what happens is, initially what you feel is a slight discomfort, and then the discomfort leads to a mild pain, and then over a period of time, the pain leads to muscle injury. The muscles which are there in an uncomfortable position because of either lengthening or too much of spasm, too much of contraction, going through different lengths to hold that particular joint, all give you an injury, soft tissue injury. And always remember, our body is adaptable, our joints are adaptable. So if you put them into a particular position for a long time, they get adapted to that wrong position, and then breaking out from that is very difficult. Simple example for this is, once you have fractured your hand or leg, they give you this constriction band that is like restrict the movement for a long time, and then they give you plaster of Paris cast, you usually keep it for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, that is 1 month to 1.5 months approximately. Because that 1 month or 1.5 month you are having it without any movement, automatically the joints and muscles around that particular region gets adapted to the non-mobility, and they get stopped, they get restricted in movement. After that, you always feel pain in coming back to the same kind of range of motion what you need to have. This is one example how the body adapts to any position which is given. So keeping them in their full functional form is very important. When they are in a malaligned state, there is lots of stress going through the joints, and then the soft tissues might go into a soft tissue injury, that is tearing of the ligaments or the muscles. So this malalignment can lead to imbalance of the muscles. So automatically what happens is malaligned joint, malaligned position maintained for a prolonged time. Usually when I'm using a system, crouching and sitting, this shows after I finish my work and going home also, I'll go with my crouched posture and then rounded shoulders, or limping on one leg because I have been standing only on one leg for a quite long time. And that carries out everywhere where I go. I will sit in the same posture. I will use that particular kind of hand, a particular side of my body in that way only. So that becomes a lifestyle after that, which needs to be stopped, which needs to be changed for the person to perform better. I'm not sure how many of you remember this. There is this movie of MGR where, as a child, he was put into a small cage, and as he grows as a young man, he grows with a hunchback. Because the environment has constricted him from standing straight, he has hunched. That's what happens, over a period of time, long time. If you are in the same position for maintaining the muscles, maintaining the joint in that misaligned position, automatically what happens is your body learns, okay, this is the position the body wants me to be, and this is how the environment is restricting me. So body will adapt to it, but the functional performance is always affected because of that. In general, see, posture is the maintenance of position by the muscles. In general, in our body, there are two kinds of muscles. Sorry about that. There are two kinds of muscles in our body. With each of them having their own distinctive functions. Slow twitch muscles and fast twitch muscles. Slow twitch muscles are basically the larger muscles, which are to stability muscles, which hold our larger joints in position. And the fast twitch muscles are actually the longer muscles, the lengthier muscles, which crosses from one joint to the other joint, crosses 2-3 joints also sometimes together, like the muscles in the forearm crosses the wrist, crosses the carpometacarpal joint, metacarpophalangeal joints, and then interphalangeal joints. Like from forearm, it reaches till the tip of the finger. Crosses somewhere around 4 joints or something like that. And some muscles which will cross only one joint. So it works basically on the liver system concept. So these are all important for movement patterns. We need both of them in an equal balance to maintain the posture. When the posture is bad, the slow twitch muscles are put into stress. What happens is the fast twitch muscles cannot perform correctly because the alignment, their angulations all change. So we need both of them in varying degrees to perform a better activity. So usually the slow twitch fibers, that is the stability muscles, are for endurance, and then whereas the quick twitch fibers, which are basically the power muscles or the functional muscles, which does the movement for our hands and legs. As I said, holding a position, holding our body in a correct place is what is posture. So this indirectly or directly touches the balance of us. That means if you can hold a good posture means if you can maintain a good balance. Good balance again is very important when you're standing and doing an activity or standing and doing a work. Imagine if you're standing in front of the kitchen and lifting up the milk, lifting up the container, or taking up something from the shelf. If you don't have balance, you will not be able to reach and do that activity correctly. So automatically your efficiency in doing the work, that is cooking in that place, gets affected. So anybody who has less balance will move a lot, right? Examples are the bikes and the people who do uh, walk with the sticks on the legs, like Bomolatam, sorry, not the Bomolatam, I think. Poikal Gudarayatam, that kind of games, where dances where people with small sticks in their legs, they keep moving. They keep moving because if they stand, they will lose balance and fall because the base of center of gravity falls into short space. The base of support is very small. So they have to they have to keep moving. They have to keep the balance, center of gravity in a mobile state where they can maintain the balance. So there is lots of work happening for the fast twitch muscles. So they get easily tired. So this is again leading to discomfort and pain and soft tissue injuries. What happens when there is a poor posture? The poor posture, when you maintain it for a long time, usually it gives you uh, it gives you with very mild issues first, and that's like a letting you know that I'm not happy with the position you're holding your body, and I'm giving you a small back pain. If you sit for a long time, you get a small back pain, or if you're holding on something, you get tired over your shoulders. And then, but what happens, like we, as being humans, we start ignoring this. Oh no, it's okay. Another half an hour I will work and go. And then we do it for some more time. And then because of the prolonged effect, what happens is those muscles get tired or those muscles get soft tissue injured. End of the day, what happens is that affects that gives you a damaged soft tissue, which will make you take a half day leave or a 1 day leave, where then your productivity automatically gets affected. Because of you pushing your work for half an hour, end of the day, you're taking half a day or 1 day full leave just to give you rest. But if you had taken at least 2 minutes before that, just to make sure you're taking the time out to address your issue. If my hands are paining because I'm using too much of mouse or keyboard or writing for some time, then what happens is I hold this here and then I do some stretching exercise. I give a rest for a couple of minutes. Then I'm good to go to work. I'm good to go with another half an hour to 1 hour of typing or writing. That timely help is always important. So the poor posture, if you let it, that will affect your body and performance in a very bad way. If the poor posture is maintained for a long time, you are holding in one wrong position for a long time, what happens is the blood flow of that particular area of your body is affected. Obviously, if the blood flow doesn't go, muscles go into a cramp, or muscle doesn't get enough energy or a source of input, and automatically it starts kind of deteriorating from its performance level. Usually when the bad posture or the posture is not good, and it is going to interfere with your nerves, means it's basically for your spine. What happens, like you start getting numbness and pain and the tingling sensations in your extremities, that is your hands and legs. That's a warning sign that something is wrong with your spine. Usually with the spine, the problem is nerves and spine. The problem, it doesn't give you the pain where the problem is. It gives you somewhere else, because nerves are always like the starting place is somewhere, and the workplace is somewhere else. So always be mindful of it. Muscles, yes. If my shoulder muscles are getting tired, no, I will get the pain on the shoulder muscles. But if my L4, L5 level spinal nerve is getting compressed, I wouldn't be getting it in my spine. I would probably get it over my calf muscles or my back of the thigh, on my toes, like that. The remedial actions are very important. what we do to relieve discomfort, comfort and pain. Basically, there are three main steps when you want to do a remedial action uh, to get out of the bad posture. Understand that you can take control of your own body, listen to your body, and take the right kind of action. What is mean by understand that you can take control of your body? Mind and body are basically, closely linked. That's how it works. When your mind and body are in sync is when you're in your highest performance level, which is very important. uh, Once we take control, once we understand our own body, that this is my ability, this is my restriction, this is my the maximum I can push myself, this is how much I can give break, and then I can go further, you can work better. So always try to control your body, try to understand your body for better. When people understand why and how to take control, the productivity improves, the ability improves, the efficiency improves in a person. Listen to the body. This is very, very, very important, which as humans, as we are, we always never listen to our body. The body is always constantly conveying to us that, your body needs this or doesn't need this. Like discomfort or pain, which is coming from that particular body, we like, oh, okay. Like yesterday, around 3 o'clock, I had a small pain coming out of my left wrist, and then I felt like, okay, maybe it's just a small niggle. I should ignore it and then leave it. Over 1-2 hours of time in my clinic, I started getting more pain, and then like, and then I know, okay, I am probably having a strain in my wrist, so I should probably give it a rest. But what to do? I'm in the clinic where I don't have a crab bandage to give rest, or I cannot use one hand alone to work. It is going to be difficult. So I kept going through. But by the time 6, the pain is too much. My thumb, moving my thumb has been very difficult. So that's when I took a charge and then said, okay, I'm not going to risk my hand going into pain, because today I'm doing a session. So I need to look without having a cut or a crab bandage in my hand. That is very important now. So what I did is, after that, I kind of not used my wrist, not used my hand. Came home, and then I took care of it by crab bandage. But instead of that, if I had a crab bandage for at least half an hour to 1 hour in the initial period itself, my pain would have not gotten so severe. Hey, one small input for the people who are putting comments in the chat. I'm not able to see it because I'm presenting. I can only see there are messages in the chat. Either you can unmute yourself and ask now. Otherwise, once we finish, I'll definitely go through the chat section and definitely try to address everyone. Very sorry about that. And so it is worth treating the messages of discomfort or the pain which your body is conveying to you. Always remember, it is important that you listen to your body, understand your body, and address it then and there instead of postponing it. How do we take action? The best action always is the prevention, which is where, as we are spending less time and less energy on it, which has become the motto of INVIT and our team, where we provide ergonomic consultation and making sure prevention can solve most of the issues. Then after you get hurt, after there is a problem, you're finding a solution. We help you to sort out the ergonomic related issues your firm or company can have. As an individual, you can go through, and then you sort it out. We will definitely go into that, how we are going to take action in regarding the posture. The principles and outlines of human biomechanics are important, where you train and exercise so that there is an effective and long lasting preventive strategy imbibed with your body. So this helps you to come out of your posture related issues. If you can do an exercise, if you understand the ergonomics, if you understand your posture, and train yourself to keep you in a better posture, to train yourself to understand when you are in a wrong posture and come out of it. Sometimes what happens is like you are not in the control of your own discomfort. The equipment can be a wrong one, the workstation can be a wrong one. That is where, as the management comes into the picture, they have to provide with a better equipment, with a better working condition. And how do they do it? How will they go for it? Because as an employee, you have to give your inputs to the management so that they will know, oh, okay, this is where things are a little wrong. So if I address this, they might, work better for me. Or my productivity of the company can go a little higher. So these are all the things we have to keep in our mind and always have the better outcomes because of this. Why the good posture at work is so important to employers. So providing education, training, and rehab processes for the people, for the workers, will always be an investment for the employers. But investing on the employees is very important, as it will give good benefits for the employers. Because we all know nowadays, or have always been in most of the businesses, most of the work, the person who is working is the very important, very expensive asset, not the machine, not the formula, but the person who's doing it. It can be his brain or it can be his body, which is very important for us. I know we are all going into hybrid mode where people are working less, machines are taking over and everything, but it will never take away the importance of an individual who is working there. His input, he is an asset for any company, any management, any institute for that matter. So enabling a positive approach towards posture will give a serious advantage of your firm or advantage of for you than the other person working. If you are in a good shape, if you know how to maintain your body posture, that means you work better. So you get good raise because your performance is better. You're bringing in productivity. If you're bringing in productivity, automatically the firm goes in a better state than the other company which is there. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. Good posture and the individual at work. At workplace, the employer always feels, like my workplace is the best place. My company is the best company. I give everything for my employees. I do all the facilities until one of the person goes and tells them, okay, this is where I want things to change. This is where I have a difficulty. But it is also imbibed in our head, not complaining is a good habit. See, you're not going to complain. Complaining is like, oh, you did something wrong to me, is a complaint. But we are all not here to say, okay, you're bad, you're taking care of us bad. No, we are going to complain that, okay, this can be improved better. The meaning of the word complaint has to be changed, has to be looked into a better aspect where, okay, I'm telling you this because this will improve my health, this will improve your productivity. So let's work each other together. You speak out, you express. From their side, they have to give you an option to speak out. They have to give you an option to express. They will have audits done. They will have screenings done, because as an industry, as everyone, they go through the process of certifications and accreditation and everything. But at the same time, everything is done through the employees, where they are in a good shape. We have to do so much for them to keep them in a good shape. That's when they give so much back to us as a productive community in the society. This is one example of sitting in the desk and working. Always remember, this picture is a one good example of how and what we are supposed to do when you are sitting. The monitor should be arm's length in front of you, and always remember the monitor is to be at the eyesight level. Your back has to be straight. Knees are to be always touching the floor. A height adjustable chair is always good. Always maintain a 90-90-90 posture all the time. Like it has to be 90 degree in your ankle, knee, and hip. Elbows rested on the arm pad in a right way where your shoulder should not go up or drop down. It has to be in a neutral position. You don't keep everything in a reachable place where you don't have to, bend yourself in a discomfortable position to reach out to your pencil, pen, or any other desk material. Everything has to be in a proper reachable. So designing this workstation is very important. Occupational therapists, we play an important role in designing work environment and providing a safe and better accessible work environment for all of them. Um, this is one small example of pictorial representation of desk and workstation ergonomics. How do we do a good standing posture? Chin has to be parallel to the ground always. Don't drop your head down or lift your head up or tilt your head. It has to be parallel to the floor, shoulders even. Don't bring it in the rolled position, or don't always be up on the extended position. Spine has to be neutral, as in like you're sitting, no arching in the front, no arching in the back, no twisting on the left side or the right side. Arms at your sides, elbows straight when you're standing. Abdominal muscles brace, because all of us, almost people who are 30 plus, all of us have this belly, extra belly a little. Try to control that, pull that stomach in, and then stand nicely with your open chest. Brace your abdominal muscles. Hips even, don't stand in one leg. Always equalize the weight distribution for both the hips. Knees pointing straight. Don't turn it in, don't turn it out, thinking it's a style. Body weight distributed evenly on both the feet is very important. When you're standing with the right posture, you will know it. But unfortunately, the recent trends, or even for the regular people, not just working, standing straight doesn't happen anytime. They either stand on one feet or the other feet. Equal distribution of weight is always missing. It is very important to distribute weight on both the legs together at the same time, which will give you a good control of your body. While you're sitting, sit well back into your chair. Tilt your sit forward slightly, so that what happens is the spine comes into neutral position. Um, but what happens in our cases, like we always prefer soft cushioned seats where we sink in, where we go inside the seat, which is very bad for the spine and your neck. Automatically, it affects all parts. Your elbow goes a little up higher, shoulder goes a little higher. So select a proper chair, correct chair. Adjust the height of the chair so hip is slightly higher than, a little higher than. I always remember the 90-90 rule. It can be a little higher, but not more than that. So ensure feet is flat on the ground to show in the shoulder width. Don't cross your legs and sit. Always maintain a balanced upright position, head over shoulders. Don't bring in your head little in front, or tilt your head to the sides. Always keep it a little closer to the desk for what better work efficiency. Some of the exercises what we do are like hip bridges. This is where I wanted you all to perform it right in front, if possible. If possible, obviously, yes. At the end of the session, yes, we will probably switch on all the cameras and try to do as much as possible. The hip bridging is lying down with your knees up and your feet down on the ground, and slowly raising your hip, maintaining like a slope. Your head is down, upper back is down, your feet is down, but your hip and your trunk is a little above in the air. Squats, everybody knows squats, but do it the right way. Don't put weight on one leg and then like get up. And when you're doing squat, you have to keep your back straight and come up. We'll again explain that in the demo. Hip flexor stretches. Stretching is always a good job. Stretching all the muscles are very important. Do lunges, rolling up the spine with a firm roll in the back is always a good to de-stress your spine. Just generally lifting up your hands and arms down and up will also release a little bit of stress on your back muscles and your neck muscles, which is very important. These are all the general exercises which will keep your posture in a good shape. These are all generalized exercises. For some of them, as you have difficulty or as you have your work specific, you need to have specially mentioned exercises and stretches in general. How do we take care of ourselves? Is what is the self-management? I need to come out of my own discomfort. So stretch on the opposite direction where you are having muscle cramps. Lengthen the muscle. Stretching is very important. A consistent, continuous, controlled exercise is very, very, very important. You don't have to go to the gym and hit the power exercises. You can still do mild exercises, but it has to be very consistent. When you do it for a long time, when you do it in a correct way for a long time, that is when it is more beneficial. Don't overstress or don't strain your muscles by suddenly one day I'll go to the gym and then break the gym and all. That's not going to happen. Always take a professional help when it comes to doing exercises. Do a proper yoga. Yoga is again stretch, basically maintaining a proper stretch and co-contraction of the muscles. Take adequate as well as much needed breaks without hindering the work progress, which is important to give rest for the continuous stress we put on the muscles or even for the brain in that case. Always have plenty of water, get dehydrated, have food at the right time, right kind of food. Be aware of any ergonomic factors or any postural abnormalities or difficulties you might face because of your work position. Everybody will get a different kind of a problem. Consider your whole day routine. What are all the things you do for the whole day? These are all self-management strategies. A simple example of awareness of conditions and symptoms. If anybody who's using a long time system and keyboard and mouse pad will usually may get problem in the wrist, problem in the neck, back, hands, because there is too much of co-contraction happening all the time over the shoulder, neck is protruded in front and looking at the monitor for a long time. The spine can be hunched a little. So there is too much of stress on the neck muscles, back neck muscles, and your wrist muscles. So they might get carpal tunnel syndrome or a neck spondylosis. These are all sort of back pain. Even back pain can come. So these are all sort of posture related, work related conditions they might get. But how do you avoid it? Because these have been caused because you have maintained your posture in a wrong way for a prolonged period of time. So do stretches. Every time you stretch your back, pull your shoulders back and bring the chest in front, hands up, keep it over your head, and then stretch it a little, and then go to your right and left, hold your stretches for 5 to 20 counts. Lengthen the muscles, turn your neck left and right, hold each position for 5 to 20 counts. So that automatically what happens is, you keep the muscles in a better state so that it can withstand the work pressure for that one day. And morning and evening or even between the work, like every 2 hours or 3 hours, doing this is going to take probably 2 to 3 minutes or the maximum 5 minutes of break that anyways you are taking, right? You're just sitting there looking at the monitor, pretending we are working or we are talking to our friend. There is a lunchtime happening. All this can be effectively included within our work time itself. This is good for your health. If you have a good health, you are going to have a good life. So always consider this. Some of the general ergonomic principles are like there needs to be an adequate clearance in your desk, adjustable height of the workstation is very important. Keep everything within your reach. Minimize the direct pressure on your muscles and joints. Minimize fatigue. Always remember to take adequate rest and in between the work. Work in a good posture. Be conscious of having a good posture. Correct yourself. Work at a proper height. Height adjustable chairs and tables are very important. The mindful way of stretching, things which you have to keep in mind when you're doing stretching exercises. Stretch muscles slowly and avoid doing faster. Now, sometimes we end up doing fast, so we want to finish it and then go. Don't do the things for namesake, because it is going to take care of your own health. Stretch only to the point where you're comfortable or slightly beyond the little comfort zone. Sometimes it is important. Feel the stretch. Only when you're feeling the stretch, that means you're stretching yourself. Otherwise, you're in a very comfortable state. You're just doing it for the namesake. Hold the stretch for 5 to 10 counts so that the muscles can relax and go back to the neutral position or their normal position. Repeat each stretching for 3 to 5 times, 3 to 4 times. Take a long breath and always be in a rhythm, always be in that flow of movement. Don't be fast, don't be exaggerated. Always be in a flow, always be in a rhythm. You have to learn to flow like a water, keep your body like a water, which is very important, so that you can adapt and be effective every time. Some of the exercises, some of the stretches basically to show you. Neck exercise. Turn to your left and hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then turn to your right. Till the maximum you can go and maintain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would like if people can do it with me so that it's effectively incorporated. You see the picture where squeeze your shoulder blades, hold for 10 seconds is where your shoulder blades are like this. Pull it back, pull your hands back, and then hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then relax. Go back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Imagine how the Salman Khan walks, like this. Go push the chest up in front, and then do it. There is always something called a chin tuck. Chin tuck. Everybody does it. Pull the chin in, and then hold it. Don't hang it in front, which usually happens in case of a lot of people who are working on the desk, a lot of people who are working on the computer. They tend to put the head in front of the chest. Always remember your chin has to go in line with your sternum. That is the front of your chest. Okay. Pull it out, pull it backwards, and you can go for overhead stretching. Lift your hands up behind the head and behind the head, and then stretch your hand. Sorry, that's a chest stretch. Push the hands to the back and take your hands over the head and try to reach up higher. That is basically for the overhead stretch. So this is again the shoulder blade squeezing, this upper back stretch. You can turn your head to the left and right automatically. Hold it there for 10 counts. When it comes to people who are working more on your system, use your hands to bend it backwards, hold it, bend it front, hold it, and then use this movement. And always squeeze your hand, relax. Squeeze your hand, relax. This is basically to relax the muscles, intrinsic muscles we call within the hands, which is very important. You can twist and turn also to the maximum extent. These are basically my references. So I'll stop sharing so that I can show you the sitting posture as well. Usually what the common mistakes we do. Okay, so I'm using a stool without backrest. So when you're sitting, what happens is, you sit like this. You tuck in your tummy, and then you sit like this with a erect spine. But what over a period of time we get tired, and then we go like this. This is called the hunching. This is where our chin comes in front. It's almost close to our knees, and this is where the maximum strain goes into the back of the neck, because you have to lift your neck like this and sit. Uh, if you are conscious, you automatically again pull it, bring your chest in front, pull your stomach in, so that your sitting posture is always in a good state. When you're sitting, keep your feet firmly placed on the ground. Don't sit like this or don't sit like this. Sit, when you're sitting, usually what happens, like you keep one leg in front, one leg at the back, and then you are like this. You keep one hand on the armrest and then you take rest. Your spine is like bent on the one side. To take a chair where you're sitting at the back of the chair, your back has to be completely resting with the backrest. If not, you use a back support. You use an arch support which is there for your lumbar area. Like here, a small cushion is also will do. But don't, again, over a period of time is when we realize that we are like this. Don't sit like this, because this feels comfortable at times, but it is not really the good position for your spine. Again, what happens, like your chest, your chin is way in front in this position. It doesn't go. Especially for the people who are using phones and laptops, like your chin is too much in front, then automatically that is why you get headaches, and that is why you get neck pain and stuff. It may not be so visible at this point of time, but over a period of time, you will definitely get that. And then people who are using system and using phones for a long time get the rounded shoulders. Everything becomes round, and the broad open shoulders always look good. So try to have a good posture, good body, so you always look good. You can perform better. Okay, and you see the people who are running and the people who are going to the gym have the broader shoulders. This is considered one of the good aspects of the posture, which is also rightly so. This is very important fact. And selecting a chair which is the right height for you is very important. Spend your money and spend your time in taking a correct kind of a chair, which will always help you to work and perform better. Have the desk closer to your body so that you don't have to reach out anything on the sides. And you're standing also. Okay, when you're standing, so usually we all have this little belly fat in the middle. So what happens? Like pull your stomach in and open your shoulders up, and then stand straight. Otherwise, what happens? Like my shoulders go round, my tummy comes in front. I stand like this. Either I stand with my one leg weight, or shifting to the weight. This is how I stand usually. This is how we stand usually. What happens, because if I'm standing, putting my weight on the right more, my spine is also bent on the right. So here, to compensate this, my spine here in the neck is bent on the left. So there is too much of twisting happening on my spine. There is a pressure which is going on to my nerve root, which is on the right side of my body. Instead, if I'm standing straight, holding my stomach, pulling my stomach in, bracing my stomach in, this abdominals is very important. So this portion of your body, which is called core muscles, which is very important for a person, because this is the basement. In Tamil, the comedian Vadivel says, basement, building strong, basement weak joke. That if the basement is weak, your building, which is your hands and legs, will not work properly. If you want your hands and legs to work properly, your basement, that is the cylinder part of your body, your trunk, has to be in a good condition. Always work on strengthening your core. Do lots of Ironman push-up, do lots of animal walk, do lots of plank exercises. Keep your trunk in a good position. That means you are an effective. You have an effective posture. This is basically the very important factor everybody has to remember. And always remember to keep your chest out and stand. Even you're sitting, sit with a good posture that brings your confidence, that brings your work efficiency. Leaning down automatically puts too much of pressure on the neck. Over a period of when we are 40, 45, what happens is there is something called cervical spondylolisthesis or cervical spondylolisthesis. Too much of stress on the neck will cause bones to grow a little extra and put pressure on the nerve roots which are coming out of the spine here in the neck, which will again cause problems for your hands or problems for your legs. And this position, usually we stand like this, right? So there is too much of curve in the back, will again put problem here in the L4, L5 spinal section, where the pain, you get the back pain. Usually this happens for both men and women. Women for different reasons, because after 35, 40, they deliver the children, and then the stomach muscles are weak, because most of the time, even if it is normal delivery or C-section, those stomach muscles gets weaker. So obviously you are not able to hold your stomach properly. And for men, sedentary work style and just simple laziness sometimes. So this things puts lots of pressure on your lower back, and that ends up giving you a lot of back pain. And almost 99% of all of us are having back pain nowadays. So, which is basically the important factor. And I think almost I have covered important points there. And what I'll do is I'll try to go through the chat section, and we can have an interaction there. Hi, Mr. Rajan, I think I did share something on good posture. Even I have demonstrated. Does that satisfy you, or you want something more?
We will be taking the
Okay, and okay, again from Rajan, like to know the safe posture of seeing mobile, because most of the time we are in network only become part of our day-to-day both personal and official life. I completely understand, Mr. Rajan, that using mobile phone has become one of the aspects. But what happens, like try to use it when you are sitting, when you are using a table and chair. Rest your elbows on the table, and then rest your forearm on the table, and then try to see the mobile. Don't use it and don't keep it close to your body. If you're keeping close to your body, is looking down. Try to keep your head straight, not like this as well, not like this as well. Keep your head straight, keep it right in front of you. Support your hands. Don't put strain on your shoulders by holding it. That's more easier. And nowadays, the benefit of thing, even in the WhatsApp, is like voice texting. Use that option instead of typing. And you can use the laptop nowadays to log into WhatsApp or any chat app for that matter. That reduces the stress on your body. I understand there is lots of work going on there, but talking wise, instead of using with the hand, try to use the Bluetooth or a head wire. Bluetooth also, I don't prefer. So the headphone wires are much better, because when you don't use it, keep them out. It doesn't stay in your head, so that you're conscious of keeping your head in particular position. And I wonder how people, like drive a car or drive a bike, ride a bike with just holding the phones like this, and which is actually dangerous for them and the other people traveling in the uh, road, as much as it is bad for their neck and back as well. Hi, that's a very good one. Back, considering the back for in Indian travelers and roads, completely agreed. The roads are bad. There are lots of potholes. What I personally, this is not a brand recommendation or anything like that. I usually or personally do not like or recommend the bikes which are nowadays called so-called bikes with racy look and stylish look. Um, because what happens, like they end up giving you a position where you are bent so much forward and you're on your elbows locked, and then too much stress on your back. That is actually a bad seating in a bike, which is not supposed to be driven. It can be driven for a racing purpose to give you aerodynamic abilities for fast driving, but for the city usage, where a bike you can sit straight and extend your hands and ride, is in a good shape. Usually, what's the conventional or what's the regular bike which gives you that feature? Imagine Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield, you would not sink down, you would not slouch down, but you will always sit straight. Maybe because the bike's height and the length is the right option, as well as the image of Royal Enfield. What we have about Royal Enfield bullets is like, you sit like a gigantic person. Uh, it's okay. It solves my purpose. It keeps my back straight. It saves my posture. It keeps me in good posture. At the same time, imagine on the other hand, bikes like Passion Pro, Passion Plus, the regular bikes, they have a good posture as well, because you sit straight in them. Any bike which has a good straight thing is always good. And suspension wise, I have always felt the there is this one bike which came. This is again not a research supported evidence, but in general, the general opinion about people and how I drove and I found, because my research when I was finishing my UG was on seating modification in bullet motorcycles to reduce low back pain for people who are riding bullet motorcycles. Because my dad had kidney issues, and then he had to go for a thing. So what I did was changed the double seater into a single seater, added springs to it. Now it's commercially available, not because I did it, but they also did it almost at the same time. So they come up with it. Good. Eventually, it has come out. So you have to go for that kind of a one. Go for where you're sitting straight. Just always a good option. No curvatures in the back. Okay, Abhishek, there is something called a tech neck. Yes, Tanmaya. Tanmaya, I remember. I think Tanmaya is not your name. I think yes, sir. Because last time also we had interacted. I think.
Yeah. Yes, doctor. This is Jinsen. Actually, I was
Yes,
in my
Jinsen.
office, so I missed in the beginning, and just now in the middle only we connected. Yeah.
No problem, sir. Mono suspension. Yes, mono suspension. I think in Bajaj, some bike had this.
It started in the beginning. I believe it's with the Unicorn. The
Yes,
Honda.
sir. Unicorn. Obvious. Yes, I forgot that. Unicorn is the one of the best suspension systems and good for the back. So that mono suspension basically is a good suspension system in general. Okay, coming back to tech neck. Tech neck is basically where your chin is right in front of your body. Too much in front, because you're looking at the screen, you're focusing more, you're trying to finish up your work. happens with people who are in the IT jobs. So what happens is you have to pull your chin back. Just do this. See, this is what the problem is. Tuck in your chin and consciously make an effort to tuck in your chin. How to correct your neck and shoulders for this is always do shrugging exercises. Bring your shoulders close to the ears, bring it down, take it back and front, stretch your shoulders nicely, and do this stretching where you bring your hand over the head, cross, and do this, and turn to your left, hold it for 20 counts, turn to your right, hold it for 20 counts, bend to your left, hold it for 20 counts, bend to your right, hold it for 20 counts. So these are all the exercises which will relax the muscles after the prolonged usage, prolonged co-contraction. So it will help you better to relax. That should probably solve the technique issue. Okay. I think after this, I'm not seeing any other messages. If anybody else wants to ask anything or discuss anything, we can go ahead. Do we have time, Inviti team? If anyone would like to ask anything or discuss anything, we can go ahead.
It's very informative, sir. Very informative. Thank you, Murli sir, Dr. Murli sir. As usual, you have been rocked with a lot of information.
Thank you so much, sir.
And surely they can able to, if they are having any doubts, they want to connect with you, they can able to ring back to Mrs. Lakshmi, so that we can able to collect the questions, and we can also able to make sure that we have been clarifying it. And also if they want of any new topics also, okay, any new topics or any new things has to be discussed on the kind of ergonomics, yes, surely they can able to put to our invitee, and we can able to do. And some of the participants, they have been asked that how the report, the kind of ergonomic reports will look like. I will share you one, if possible. I think you can able to have a kind of quick view of the reports. The reports will be based on the firm to firm. I'm not telling about the firm names which we have been audited. It's purely like this is based on the workplace, about the hazards you have. And also it's not only a kind of a correction or corrective one, it can be a proactive one also. Whenever you are going to design a workplace, yes, always you can able to ensure that whether the workplace has been designed in an ergonomical way. And also very interestingly, which we have been working on, invitee team has been working on, is why not to have a kind of a health center attached with ergonomic experts. So we can be a kind of a persons who can able to ensure that the chronic pains have been dealt in the initial stages itself. So this is one of the sample report which I can able to show you. I'm sure Rajan sir, I can able to give the contacts of our doctor. And also, yes, and also thanks for all the participants who have been joined. And also let's pray for Ukraine, and let's make sure that the war has been stopped. And also thank you. Have a safe weekend. And the questionnaire is, I think the feedback has been floated in the chat box, the feedback and also rating. You can able to always click that. You can able to give the kind of feedbacks we able to improve upon on the next times which we have been arranging this kind of sessions. And once again, thank you, Dr. Murali Krishnan sir. Is a wonderful session as usual. Thank you. Have a safe weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. And please do fill in the feedback forms. And if anyone in looking to have your place ergonomically audited, please reach out to the invitee team, and we would be very glad to help you out, set up your workplace for the better profit, better work efficiency as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. நீ கொடுக்குறியா? காலேஜ் போலையா? இல்ல போனேன், நாளைக்கு போய்க்கிறேன். நீ கடை